Hello friends, so we have started the cell, the unit of life, and we are continuing with plastids. And yesterday we saw what are plastids and where they are present, what is their function, which are the types of plastids, all these things we have done. So the main thing for NEET and CET as well, the board exams of PU science, the main organelle, what they ask, the ultrastructure, the structure of, mainly they will be asking structure of chloroplast. I mean, in plastids, like we have different types, where in chloroplast, particularly it has been asked for many times, the structure of chloroplast. However, so we will see like chloroplast. See, chloroplast is very important cell organelle of plant cell, particularly because yesterday we have seen that it is the main function is the photosynthesis. For photosynthesis it's more important. So because it has pigment, particularly that pigment is chlorophyll, and that chlorophyll which imparts green color for the plant, that absorbs light range, different wavelength of light, and it helps in photosynthesis. Light reaction takes place in chloroplast. We know that very well. I mean, complete photosynthesis process. We have already done photosynthesis chapter. You people know photosynthesis chapter mein naವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, we have done light reaction and dark reaction, right? So both light reaction and dark reaction, for both the reactions we were dealing with chloroplast, and there like exactly where it is present, but still it's important here also to discuss about chloroplast. So once again I'll be telling about that. So chloroplast, it is usually found in plant cells, and you might ask me like for photosynthesis if it is important, then there are some prokaryotic organisms like bacteria, which are autotrophic in nature, which also photosynthesize. Then you might ask me, then chloroplast is present in bacteria also? No. Bacteria, they don't have chloroplast, but they have chlorophyll, and that chlorophyll is called bacteriochlorophyll. It's quite different from the chlorophyll what it is present in the plants. So coming to the question of chloroplast, chloroplast is not found in prokaryotic organisms. It is found in plant cells, usually plant and euglenoids. We have done that. So okay, then for the first thing what we need to study today is about the location of chloroplast. First thing is where it is located, where it is found, right? And second thing is the shape of the chloroplast, in what all different shapes it actually occurs, right? So first we will see these two things. Now, to find the location of chloroplast, it is present in plants, it is present in euglenoids also. Now, where exactly in plants? So, for example, if you take a leaf, okay, and then if you take a section of this leaf, you might have taken sections of leaf, and what you can see is this type of structure. You will see if you take a section of leaf, this is the midrib region, right, of the leaf, and what you will find here, you will find some cells like this, right, some long cells like this, yeah, and then you will find some circular cells like this. So these cells, what you find here, the tissue which you find here, we call this tissue as mesophyll tissue. What do we call them? We call them mesophyll tissue. Now this mesophyll tissue of plant, it is made up of two types of cells. You can see here, these are the long cells, these are the circular spherical cells. So these are chlorenchyma. We call them as chlorenchyma, which is a type of parenchyma cells. So these are the palisade parenchyma, these are the spongy parenchyma. Togetherly we call them chlorenchyma because they have this chloroplast in them. So if you just zoom out this structure, if you see, if I am showing this structure only here, what you can see here, you can see these are the palisade chlorenchyma cells like this, and these are the spongy chlorenchyma cells. So within these cells, you will see that chloroplasts are found like this at the peripheral region, like this. Also you will find them here. But if you compare the number, usually the palisade cells will have more number of chloroplasts compared to the spongy cells. So this is where they are exactly found. I hope you understood this. Now, if you zoom out this structure. If you zoom out this structure, how you will see, what exactly you will see, the structure of chloroplast. See, the structure of chloroplast is somewhat like this, and you know, it is double membrane. It's double membrane structure. It has outer membrane, it has inner membrane, right? Like this. Like this you can see. This is how it looks if you take a section of that chloroplast. So we will in detail we'll be studying about this chloroplast. Just I am showing you, if you zoom it out, how exactly the chloroplast looks. So this is nothing but chloroplast. I hope I made it clear where is the location. So usually plant cells will have this chloroplast. That is the main difference between animal cell and plant cell as well. You know, plastids are present in plant cells. Now chloroplast is a type of plastids. So if you don't have understood, if you are not having understood these things, you can see the other video which I have done on plastids. Then you can come here so that you will understand it still clearly. So chloroplast is found in leaves and stems. Wherever you find this green color, chloroplast is present there because it has chlorophyll and it is imparting which color? It is imparting green color for the plants. Now when you take a section of leaf like this, you will find this type of structure. Now these cells which are present here, we call them mesophyll tissue because there are different types of cells. These are both are parenchyma, wherein they have chloroplast, so they have been told as chlorenchyma cells. They have the structures. When you zoom out this thing, you will find these type of structures, and those are nothing but the chloroplast. And when you zoom out this, you will find this type of structure again, which is nothing but chloroplast. So we have understood where is the location. So please take down. So then next what we need to do is we need to understand the shape. So what is the shape of the chloroplast here, right? So this is the shape of the chloroplast. There are so many shapes. We'll see that. Okay, I hope it's clear now. Where is the location? Yes. Now coming to the shape of the chloroplast. So which are the different types of shapes? Now when you talk about shape of the chloroplast, there are different types of shapes. Some say it is lens shaped, you know, biconvex lens. Have you seen biconvex lens? You know, like this type of structure, biconvex, both the side it is convex. So that type of structure that is called lens. It might be discoidal in shape. What is discoidal now? Means disc shape. Have you seen this discus throw wala disc? So that disc shaped structure. It can be spherical. It can be oval. The oval shape, usually egg. What you see, that egg, how it looks, it's nothing but the oval shape. So like that also you will find different structures. It can be even ribbon-like structure. What ribbon-like structure now? So if you have seen this Spirogyra, right? Have you seen this Spirogyra? It looks somewhat like this. So this is what? This is the chloroplast is present here. And it looks like what? It looks like ribbon. So they say it is ribbon-like. So different shapes are there. Lens shape, discoidal shape, disc-like, spherical, round one, oval like egg, ribbon-like. In the example is Spirogyra. I hope I made it clear. So these are the different shape of the chloroplast. Fine. So we have understood what? We have understood even the shape of the chloroplast. Now what we need to understand? So we know where it is located. We know what is the shape also. Different shapes are there. The main thing what we need to understand is the structure of chloroplast, because it is the main organelle. It is, the main function is photosynthesis, and we all are surviving, we all are living because of oxygen, and that oxygen is also somewhere coming out from this organelle, right? So we need to understand the structure very well. So to understand the structure of chloroplast, let it be here. So what you can see here, you can see the thing that it is double membrane structure. It has this outer membrane, right? This is outer membrane, and here what you can see, this is the inner membrane. You are very familiar with chloroplast, I know that, because in photosynthesis we have done it completely. Everything is done there, but still we need to understand the structure, because in this chapter we have this. So there are two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Then what is this space enclosed with? To understand this space, photosynthesis chapter, it plays very important role. Now here what you can see, this space is called stroma. Many students will get confused with this. Oh, where exactly is the space is called what, and there are so many structures also, they can get confused with this. So but to understand, so I have written here. So this is stroma. Okay, the space which is enclosed by chloroplast is called stroma. So the space enclosed is called stroma. Now what this stroma has, we will see that. What it has, we will see that. So I'll be rubbing here so that you can understand it is the stroma. Now what exactly is present inside this stroma? See, within the stroma we find some structures like this. Like this. No, there are many structures like this. Here also students get more confused with the names. See, okay. So what is present in this chloroplast, that plays very important role, because that is the main function, okay, which in light reaction. So we will see that. So what the structures, what I have done here, I'll be showing it separately to make it clear. So what you find here, these structures, you know, this disc-like structure, what you find here, these are called as thylakoids. What do we call them? We call them thylakoids. There are so much of confusion students have, but don't get confused. The single structure what you find here, this is called thylakoids. Now so many thylakoids, you know, they are forming a structure like this. So many thylakoids are located one above the other. Now this whole thing, it is called as grana. Granum. Singular, it is granum. But like this type of structure, now this is also one thylakoid, this is one thylakoid, this is one thylakoid, this is one thylakoid. So many thylakoids togetherly made what? Granum. Now what you can see here, this is one granum, this is one granum, this is one granum. So many granum. Togetherly we call it as grana. Plural, grana. Singular is granum. Okay, I hope you understood this. Single thing is thylakoid. Togetherly we call it as granum. And here we have so many grana. But you can see this structure. So I will name it. So this is what? This is now called as what? It's called as granum. Togetherly so many grana. What about the single thing? The single thing is called thylakoid. So to just make it clear, I will be writing it T. T means what? Thylakoid. This is one thylakoid. All these are thylakoids. I think it's clear now. Now you can see that there is something along tubular structures which are connecting this grana, right? So there are long, I'll show it here only. These are the long structures like this, you know, they are connecting three different grana present in the chloroplast. Now what are these structures? These structures will confuse you more, and in exam also they'll be asking about this because it confuses you a lot. So these things are nothing but they are called as fret channels. Now what that, they have so many names, I'll be writing everything. So these are called as fret channels. These are called as fret channels. This is one name. The other name is, even these are thylakoids only. These are also thylakoids, even these are thylakoids. What is the difference? These thylakoids are present in grana, so they are called as granal thylakoid. And these thylakoids are joining two different grana, and they are present exactly in the stroma. I mean, morely they are freely embedded in the stroma, and we call it as stromal thylakoid. Stromal thylakoid. Is it clear? Two names. One is fret channel, the other one is stromal thylakoid. There is one more name. You know, in textbooks they have given stromal lamellae also. So please students, Don't at all get confused. All these three names are for what? For this, what you will say? What is easy for you to remember? Fred channels. You can remember anything what you want. But see, you should know that Fred channels are also called as stromal thylakoid. It is also called as stromal lamellae. Is it clear? Okay. Now, along with these things, okay, we have understood the structure now. Now, the main thing for NEET and for CET as well as board exams also, you should know what else is present in this chloroplast other than this thylakoids, other than this stromal thylakoid, granule thylakoid, stroma. So, what is present in stroma other than these things? So, this much is clear. Just take down. Okay. Then, so shall we move forward and see what is present inside the stroma now? So this is clear, I feel, I guess. Okay. Now, okay. Now the question arises, what is present inside the stroma? What is present in stroma? Then you will say, stroma has all this grana, different grana, and they are connected also. These things you know. Other than this, what is present in chloroplast? See, other than these things, chloroplast have, they have enzymes. Now, do they require enzymes? Obviously. Why? Because they are the main, cell organelles performing photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, you people know, photosynthesis has two reactions. One is light reaction, the other one is dark reaction. Light reaction is happening in grana as well as in this stromal Fred channels also. Dark reaction will be happening in the stroma. Then for dark reaction as well light reaction, you need some enzymes. You need enzymes for dark reaction. Can you remember which enzyme is important for dark reaction? Rubisco enzyme, we had already done about that. Photosynthesis chapter mein humne kiya hai, Almadi Devi. So, enzymes required for what? Enzymes for the sake of photosynthesis is important. So, they are present in the stroma. Is this clear? Then what else is there? This chloroplast, we call them as semi-autonomous structures. You know why we call them semi-autonomous structure? Because autonomous means what? They can do something on their own. I mean, they can reproduce themselves. Like, there is no need for this chloroplast to wait until the plant cell divides so that the number of chloroplasts will increase. No, they will not depend on plant cell. They have their own DNA. What they have? They have their own DNA. And they have their own DNA for the sake of replication. They replicate themselves. Understood? But which DNA? What kind of DNA? Yes, it is double stranded. Double stranded. And the main thing is circular. Now, what is this circular DNA? Is it same DNA what we people have? See, we people have this type of DNA, which is called linear DNA. We call it as linear DNA. Now, what is circular? Circular also this DNA only. Same like this only, but it will be in the structure. Circular way. So, this is called what? This is called circular DNA. Clear? So, they have this double stranded circular DNA, but very important thing about this DNA is that they are naked. They are naked. Naked? What naked? What do you mean by naked DNA now? See, DNA is negatively charged. It has something which is positively charged, which coils it. Okay, in molecular basis, you know about this. So you should tell me what is that structure which is positively charged and which coils the DNA, right? So here, what you can understand is that the structure which actually coils the DNA, the positively charged structure, you will find it out what it is. That structures are not found here. Anyways, I'll tell you that because I can't wait. So those are histones. And those histones are absent. And that is why we call it as naked DNA. Because they don't have histones. Is it clear? So this is a NEET question again. They will be asking this, like what kind of DNA is present. Okay, so DNA is double stranded circular DNA and without histones, so we call it as naked DNA. The next question, what else is there in this? So when it has its own DNA, obviously it will have some other things like, factories, the protein factories. Yes, they have this ribosomes. The ribosomes are called what? Protein factories, right? Because they produce protein. They help in protein production. Now this ribosomes, okay fine, we can remember ribosomes are there, but what is the NEET question here or CET question here? Which ribosome is present in chloroplast? And that is 70S ribosome. Usually in plant cell, endoplasmic reticulum will have 80S, but in case of mitochondria, in case of chloroplast, we have 70S ribosome. Very, very important thing to remember. This again plays very important role in case of your exams. They'll be asking you which ribosome is present. Remember, it is 70S ribosome. Because this chloroplast, they behave like a prokaryotic cell. They also have two membranes, they don't have any other things rather than, they have DNA which is naked again. Even this character is same like prokaryote, right? They have their own ribosome. They don't have any other organelles. Simply to say that it is just like a prokaryotic cell which is present within a eukaryotic cell. So remember, chloroplast as well as mitochondria, they have which ribosomes? They have this 70S ribosomes. Is it clear? Okay, then what else? Only these things? After photosynthesis, what is produced? After photosynthesis dark reaction, what is produced? Obviously, glucose is produced. So glucose, so many glucose are joined together to form a molecular structure, to form a polymer structure. And we call it as what? Starch. Right? So what you will find else here? You will find what? You will find this starch granule like this. It can be called as starch granule. And then you have circular, double stranded circular DNA. Circular DNA. Shall I rub this? Double stranded circular DNA. Then what else? DNA is over. It has some enzymes. And what else? It has these ribosomes. Where should I write it? It has this ribosomes. And what is a ribosome here? It is 70S ribosome. Is it clear now? Still, it's not completed. Still we need to study the structures of thylakoids and all those things. So we have done it in photosynthesis chapter. Anyways, so these are thylakoids, you know it very well, and what else is present in the chloroplast other than all these things. Now the question arises, the main question arises, we are talking about chloroplast because it has a pigment, and that pigment is what? That pigment is chlorophyll. Now you will ask me, ma'am, you are talking about so many things, where is that pigment? Because we are talking about that particular pigment only, chlorophyll. Now your question in your mind, where is this chlorophyll present here? I didn't talk about chlorophyll, right? Yes. So we will see where exactly chlorophyll is present. So please note down if you want. So what you can see here now. So this is Grana. Okay. Now where is this chlorophyll present? See, this is the thylakoid I told you. Yes, we have already seen the structure of thylakoid like this. This is a disc shape I told you, right? It looks like this, like a circular box you can say. Right? So this is what? This is the thylakoid. Which thylakoid, Baba? Yav thylakoid ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು? This is granule thylakoid which is present in the grana. Granule thylakoid. Now, if you take a section of this, ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು thylakoid ನ cut ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, if you take a section out of like this, okay, what you will find? What you will find? Half section ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? Right? It looks like this. Section ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ. Now inside this, this is the, can you imagine, what is this? This is thylakoid. And if you take the section of the thylakoid, you will find some space inside the thylakoid. And this space, what you find? This space is called lumen. This space is called lumen. And this thing is same for even the stromal thylakoid also. But I am showing only one thylakoid. So when you take section of the thylakoid, the lumen, what you find, the space which is there here, it is called lumen. Now inside this lumen, you will find structures. You will find structures like this. You know, they are towards the membrane. Okay, these structures are called chlorophyll pigment. Chlorophyll is present here. That means where it is present. Exactly, if you see in the lumen, and even this thylakoid has upper and lower membranes. If you see this is the upper membrane, the outer membrane, and it will also have this inner membrane. So between these two membranes, these pigments are present. That is chlorophyll. And inside the lumen, you have different quantasomes. Where exactly chlorophyll is present? In the membrane of the thylakoid. Is it clear? Lumen is also important. The space in between. When you take a section of thylakoid, the space is called lumen. And where exactly the chlorophyll is present? It is present in the membrane of the thylakoid. So I think it's clear. So we were asking a question like where chlorophyll is present. So chlorophyll is here. And that is why even the stromal thylakoid as well as the granule thylakoid, both of them take part in light reaction of photosynthesis. Because they both have what? They both have this chlorophyll pigment. Clear? So I think you understood. This is all about the structure of chloroplast, which is very much important. There are many questions, based on this topic, like the ribosome which is present. It is 70, yes, it's important. And then the DNA which is present, is it naked or it has histones? No, it don't have any histones, so it is called naked DNA. And it is circular DNA. I have shown it, double-stranded circular DNA. And we call this chloroplast as semi-autonomous because it replicates by binary fission. It replicates itself, it divides itself into two or into many, and then it forms, it will not wait for the plant cell to divide. So this is all about chloroplast. So we have completed plastids now completely. So in the next thing we'll be seeing about ribosomes. Thank you.